Hello. This is new for me. I don't normally do these sorts of things, but let's make this quick and painless. I was asked by the nice folk over at Dehancer to give their new, well, actually it's not new, it's been around for a little while, their film emulation plugin a try. I'm a Premiere Pro user. I film weddings. I do about 40 or 50 weddings a year, and I've always wanted to dabble with the idea of adding a bit of film grain, maybe a film emulation to my work, but I've never really had the confidence to start. So I thought what I'd do is jump straight in from a newbie's perspective, because I've only loaded this plugin once and had a very, very quick look at it, and now I'm going to take a bit of time to go through the different settings with you guys so we can all learn together. So let's get rid of my hideous face. Okay, here we are. So this is a little trailer. Actually, I haven't sent this to the couple yet. I finished this today, and this has got my current normal LUT on it, which is a sort of custom color grade that I've made. Various sort of tweaks, a little bit of sharpening. I go quite heavy on the blues, desaturate some of the green, all that stuff. But it does look very sort of artificial because it's very clean, very smooth. There's no grain at all on this. So what we're going to do, I've created a little very blank sort of preset with minimal tweaking already. So I'm going to drag that on Dehancer here. This is what your control panel looks like. Now, the thing I've been mainly fiddling with is film grain, and I want something really subtle. But I've actually, when spending about 20 minutes fiddling with this, you can see, let me toggle it on and off. That's without, that's with. Now, I noticed I filmed some stuff at about 6400 ISO for some dancing footage in poor light, and I actually really liked a sort of grainy look to it. So that's what made me think, oh yeah, I must look down this film grain avenue once more. And then out of nowhere, Dehancer sent me an email and said, look, give this a try, post a video, and you can tell everyone how good it is. Or, you know, if you don't like it, tell them that as well. So there's no bias in this. I'm going to try and use this for the first time with you. What a lot of people will do with this, or the primary reason for it, is to apply a film stock. So we find that under, I would assume, film. Yeah, here we go. So I've actually got one selected here. There's a huge, get this back out. There's a huge long list here. Your Porters 160, the Kodak stuff, the Gold 200, all the sort of more commonly referred back to Fuji stuff, film stock emulations. So if you cycle through some of these, there's some very stylistic looks. Sorry, let me enable it there. A few black and white ones. It'd be nice to have them labelled as black and white, but I suppose they've kept the names unique to the original film stock. If you know your film stocks, you're going to know what each one of these is going to look like. But if you're like me and absolutely clueless, then it's going to be a bit of trial and error to go through. I'd like to have seen some sort of browser. I don't think there's a way of doing that. In order to, same with LUTs in Premiere, I always find it difficult to view a whole folder full of LUTs. I have to do it individually, and it's a bit of a nightmare. So I'd like there may well be one. Let me know if you know of any way. Pop a comment down in the comments, guys. That's what you're saying. It all that stuff. Now, well, that's quite a nice one actually. I mean, that's how you would find it. Just accidentally popping it on and saying that's quite a nice one. I really like the colours there. Maybe that needs some tweaking. So let's see how we can fiddle that. Should we want to contrast? It could do with a bit more contrast. It could always also do with a little bit more. There you go. The white point. Let's see what this does. You can see on those window frames in the back, just brings them back. Now for weddings, I quite like a little bit of a white pop dress and such. You can't, without it affecting skin tones too much. Just go on her face and see what that was doing there. I'm going to just tweak these settings as I go through, kind of like a bloom sort of glow effect, which I think might be another option further down the list actually. But that's looking all right. Let's go to film compression. I didn't really. No, I'd assume the film compression is linked with the stock you've got selected. Maybe I don't know if these presets differ as you cycle through the stock, or if they're always the same. white point. That's what I was looking for. Let's go back out. Just to brighten the whole image a fraction. There you go, something like that. I like that. So see that contrast I was missing quite heavily at the start. I may have gone a little bit high on that contrast. I can bring that back. Or gamma may be a solution. No, I think the contrast boost needs to come down a fraction. About there. Now let's look at the film grain. This is what I was tinkering with previously. Now, size 40, I think I had it on about 10 before. That's probably a little bit too low. Now, as well as size, obviously you've got a mount, which is going to be more, oh, that's too much. More noticeable, I would say, than size. I want to keep the size quite low for my look. That's too dramatic there. I think that amount needs to come down as well. So let's go. Oh, where's that clip gone? So the quickest thing to do here, I think, would be to toggle on and off. See, there's a slight vignette as well, which I added. I found that in one of the options. A nice, quick, easy way to do a vignette, and that's all customizable. I'll show you that when we get down there. Bloom, that's what I was talking about, which sort of makes your whites, gives you an old film look, and a slight softening, which might be handy for weddings. People like that. That's not doing a lot for me. So the size and the amount is the thing. Oh, you have got preset film ISO and film size rated sort of grain sizes there, but I didn't have a huge amount of luck getting the look I was going for, so I decided to go back to the custom look. That's without. That's with. I like it. What I would like is to be able to, on the film stock, have a slider here. Oh, hang on, no, it's contrast boost. That's something separate. A slider of opacity for this to apply this, like you would a LUT on an adjustment layer. And I know I can put the whole thing on an adjustment layer to knock it down, but obviously that will then reduce the film grain and stuff, and any other changes you've made. But it'd be nice to keep that grain consistent and maybe the vignette consistent, and then bring the opacity of the actual film stock down. But I suppose film stocks are what they are. They look like they do. So you kind of have all or nothing. So I understand why seemingly there's no way to change that. This was that vignette control. You got white or black, positive or negative. Reduce the size. Don't want to go too drastic. Mine was pretty subtle before, I think. There's an iOS app as well. I haven't got an iPhone myself, but that's a new thing they've recently mentioned to me, which I'd love to be able to show you, but as you can tell, this is not something I do. I like that look. I might cycle through those film stocks. Is there a way of writing down or favoriting something like that so you know which one it is? I'll just take the picture on my phone so I know which one I like the look of. But you'll find videos where there's an image that just cycles through all of these. Some of them are very drastic. That's nice, but desaturated. I haven't seen a saturation as such, I don't think, when I've been looking through that relates to these. That's nice. That is nice. Now, has the film grain... Yeah, the film grain has remained as I've applied that. So let's maybe try a preset 35mm film grain. That's lovely. Oh, that's lovely. Let's set it in and out so we can... I really like that look. My plan is to just use this probably for trailers, at least to start with, and then leave the full-length film and speeches and the ceremony and that sort of stuff as is, which is this kind of more cleaner look without any film grain. And that's using that clip as a as a totally different clip. Let's pop the same sort of preset that we've just applied onto that, shall we? See what that looks like. So let's pop over to this clip again. Copy Dehancer. The other part is already on there because that's my standard sort of preset. That's a look. Don't know if the film stock is perfect for this particular shot, but I wouldn't want to be changing them between shots. But the grain is lovely. It's so subtle and natural looking, which is exactly what I wanted. I love it. I'm going to be using it. I just need to decide which of these film stocks, if any, because obviously you can just disable that entirely, so you don't use the. I'll scroll down somewhere there you go. You can disable and enable, so you don't necessarily need to use it. But I'm going to go through this trailer now, adding all these clips. Let's just pick a different. It's difficult because I can't see the full timeline without making that small for you lot. Let's pick a totally different type of lighting. That was horrendous lighting, so that might not be a... Let's go for a dancing, like an evening shot. Something like this. And let's put that same... Let's apply it to all of these. See, it looks a lot more as you'd expect it there, because quite often these are really high ISO shots anyway. Let's undo and watch that same thing again without it this time. It's too clean and it's too saturated. Actually, I'm now realising maybe I do like that film stock. Yeah, I really like it. I've now got some work to do to decide which of the film stocks I want to use and how sparingly I'm going to use this, but I'm a big fan. You should be too. You can use the code RIDEOUT for 10% off. I'll put some links and all that stuff. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm pretty sure you're meant to smash like buttons, comment, all that stuff, but let's be honest, you don't need to do that. I'm just hoping this has shown you how impressive this can be. Oh, there's my dogs. Can you see my dogs? And how quickly it can be impressive, because it really didn't take me long to get a look that I'm really happy with. I think that is such a classic filmic sort of dramatic look. It's a low shutter speed, this, so it's not great to be freeze framing it, but something like that, if you look at that compared to that, just looks like a video camera, doesn't it? Love it, using it. Code RIDEOUT, all that stuff. Hope this is okay for you. Do let me know if you have any questions, and I will spend a long time playing with it and getting the answer for you, because I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time using Dehancer starting from now.